Girl, today let's talk about why you keep picking the wrong dude. So if you were with me in our last video, you remember me talking about the different types of guys that I constantly found myself dealing with. Yeah, I picked the wrong guy a whole lot of times on my way to figuring out who was really a prince. Well, I'm hoping to save you some time and some heartache and some other stuff that I encountered. Let's talk about the ones that you don't want to pick. Dude number one, or type number one, I'm calling that the pet. The pet. So this is the guy who's cute, adorable, you know, like a little poodle. Or this is the guy who is muscular and strong and ooh, you know, like a Rottweiler. Or this is the dude who is the life of the party, you know, like a little Chihuahua. He is just like fun, on go all the time. This is the kind of dude that always draws attention when you guys are out, whether it be because he's cute and adorable, or because he is fine, or because he is just the life of the party. And you are drawn to that energy. You are drawn to the attention. You love the fact that he brings attention to you, and he's mine. I'm on his arm. Really, he's on your arm. But you love the attention that is gained from being around him. And that's the public attention. But let's talk about what happens when you and Mr. Pet go home. Just like any other pet, you have to do everything for this dude. You have to feed him, right? You got to clean up behind him. You got to take care of him. He is not bringing anything to the table. The only thing you're getting good out of it, or you think you're getting good out of it, is when he climbs up in your lap and he wants to cuddle. And he wants to put his face in your crotch and sniff. Or he licks your face a little bit, making you feel good. And he rolls over and lets you rub his tummy, right? And so you think you got it going on. He's so cute. He's so adorable. He pays me so much attention. Yeah, in private. Because he's got it going on. Who wouldn't want a mama who is taking care of him, feeding him, icing his neck out, fitting him out in the right clothes, taking him out for a stroll, you know, taking care of all his needs. Yes, but babies, don't pick a pet. If you just itching for some company, go get you a real pet. Keep on walking on your path. Leave that pet right there. You don't need that type of dude. So, what is dude type number two? Well, dude type number two is what I call Mr. Project. And this is where a lot of women fall into this, because I was the project queen. I could pick a project girl. But really what the project guy is the type of guy that you can see his potential. You can see his potential. He is an outgoing kind of guy, or he has all these ideas, or, you know, he's well on his way to something, you know. And you can just see how this about his personality can translate into him really being successful at whatever that thing is that he seems to have the niche for. Whether it's like he's an athlete and you can see where he might make it, or whether he's planning to go to law school or med school, or whether he has all these business ideas. He don't have no money to fund the ideas, but he got the ideas, and you're thinking, pretty soon he's going to put it all together. He's going to actually sit down and write that business plan, or he's actually going to go to that interview, or he's actually going to sign up for school, or he's actually going to come back to school. But I know he can do it. I know he can do it. I believe in him, right? But while you're believing in him and he's not making any progress towards his goals, or while you're supporting him as he progresses towards his goals, you have to ask yourself, how long are you going to work on this project? Is it worth 1, 2, 5, 10 years of your life? And then what happens that after that amount of time that you have invested in this project, if it doesn't work out? Or worse yet, you've built up this project for the next sister. How are you going to feel? Are you going to look back and think, wow, I wasted so much of my time. I made life convenient for this guy while he was a resident in med school or while he was studying for the bar. I paid all the bills. I did everything only for him to walk away and pour out my investment on some other girl. Got to think about it. My thing is, baby, if Mr. Project and his potential are for you, once he actualizes his potential, then maybe y'all can circle back around and y'all can have something. But you don't have a whole lot of time to invest in a project, right? So let's talk about dude number 3, dude type number 3. That's Mr. Persona. You know the guy. He has all the right attributes. He dresses well. He smells well. He drives the right car. He says all the right things. He just seems to be the perfect guy. And that's the key. He seems to be. By very definition, the persona is the fact that he is putting on a face that is not necessarily who he is. And he can change those faces depending on what his needs are. Key there, his needs. So this dude is the ultimate chameleon. And you have to ask yourself, what are you getting out of a relationship with a guy who's just about the looks of things? I have to look successful. I have to act successful. I have to drive something that makes me appear successful. I have to have my chick look successful. So she has to wear the right things. Is he trying to dress you and tell you how to dress? Is he trying to tell you how to act? Is he suggesting careers and friends for you? Is he suggesting that you delete certain friends that don't fit his persona? You really need to think about that. Is it worth changing who you are to fit into this guy's persona? Or is he willing to accept you just as you are? Mr. Persona. Mr. Persona. That gets old real quick. How many times do you want to come home and you don't know what dude you coming home to, girl? And when times get hard and times get tough, is he going to be putting on the act, or is he ready to roll up his sleeves and get in the trenches with you and fight through whatever's going on when it doesn't necessarily fit his persona? Like Kirk Franklin says, girl, it's time to get the actors off the stage. Keep it moving. Leave Mr. Persona right where he is, because what you're looking for is a real one, not a fake one that's pretending to be the real one. But while you're on your path, girl, what you really need to realize is before you're ready for the prince to find you, you have to find yourself. Are you the right one? Are you the prize? Are you working on yourself? Because when Mr. Prince comes along to find you, are you going to be ready to take the ride, right? Are you going to be ready? Have you worked on yourself? Have you gotten your career started, or have you finished your education? Have you knocked off some of the stuff off your bucket list? You know, all the things that you want to do that maybe are not going to be convenient to do in a relationship, right? So maybe you should do some of those travel things that you wanted to do with your girlfriends, or take that class you always wanted to take, or start that hobby that you always wanted to do, right? Because as you get into a relationship, sometimes some of the things that you want have to be put to the side, because it's now becoming the two of you and it's what you want together. That's not to say that you're going to change who you are and you can't have, you know, your own ideas and your own interests. But when you come into a relationship with your true prince, there's going to be a meshing. And so you don't want to have any regrets. So girl, Work on yourself. Make sure you are ready. Make sure you are a princess in every aspect of the word and ready to receive your prince. So how are you going to know who your prince is? Well, prospects for princes look like this. 1, they are mature. 2, they understand that it's their responsibility to provide and protect their princess. They understand what your goals and your desires are, and they support you. They make room for you on their agenda. As a matter of fact, you're right up there towards the top of their agenda. You don't have to chase them down. They're calling to check in with you to see if you're all right, if you need anything, when they can see you. They're answering your texts. They're picking up your calls. You can have the password to their phone, girl. When you're the one and he's the one, it just all comes together. But I will say this, you know in your heart of hearts when he's not the one. So don't pretend to not see what you actually see, and don't pretend that you see what's not actually there. When that prince comes along, baby, you got to be ready, even when it's not packaged the way that you had predicted. Maybe he doesn't look your normal type, as we like to call it. He not my type, girl. But what is your type? Remember, you've been so busy dating the pet, the project, and the persona, what you all thought was your type. And then when the guy comes packaged in another way, and usually he will, usually the prince for you is not packaged in the way that you've been picking. Are you ready? Are you ready to let go of your shallow expectations? Now, I'm not talking about your non-negotiables. We have non-negotiables, and I want you to keep those. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You want a dude that's going to come home. You want a dude that puts family first. You want a dude that works and brings his check home and provides for his family or his household. You want a dude that stands on his word, that tells the truth, that can be a man of his word, that can be trusted. You want a dude that's going to go through the fire with you. You want a dude that's going to cherish you and love you and care for you. So those are non-negotiables, I hope. But you have your own list. You know what your list is. So those things you won't give up. But just because he comes packaged in a visible way that looks different from what you expected, you got to ask yourself, even though he looks different than what I expected, are my non-negotiables part of his package? And if that's the case, girl, you need to quickly reevaluate, because I promise you, there's another sister out there looking for a prince just like that, and she is not shallow. So really think about it. When you find your prince, baby girl, hold on to him. Hold on to him. And you make sure that you let him know that he is the prince, and you treat him as such. So I hope these tips help you along your path to finding your prince. Remember, avoid the 3 Ps, Mr. Pet, Mr. Project, and Mr. Persona. Wait patiently on Mr. Prince. And while you're waiting, make sure that you are the ultimate princess. So when he comes along, the two of you will be a perfect pair. Go ahead and hit me up before you leave down there in the comments and tell me your experiences with these types of dudes. Tell me about your prince and whether or not he came packaged in the way that you had predicted. I want to hear everything about it, girl. Also, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know when the next video comes out. Until next time, I am Ty Mack, and this is Milk and Condoms with Ty Mack. Talk to you soon.